Seeing your reactions as far as the show is concerned as well. John Kianda.
Yes.
I know yesterday was one of the, as an African, I feel somewhat disappointed because the last time that the continent was not represented in the knockout stages was about 36 years ago, since 1982.
Yeah, that's true, but I wasn't shocked. I expected that.
Yes.
In fact, there's a good friend of mine called Mwaura. He's watching the show all the way from Kamukuywa. He told me that, tell Michael Kingi, if he even tells me that, I'm sorry to say this, that's what he told me, that my wife is pregnant. Even if there's a week, nasijui, I'll admit, because Mike said there's no African team that's going past the round of 16.
Yes.
He actually nailed it and said no African team is going past the round of 16. Senegal, Mane, yes, he's a top player. We saw him what he did at Liverpool last season, even in the Champions League. But we didn't see the Mane of Liverpool playing for Senegal. Those African teams were not playing as a unit.
Yes.
Some of them were relying on individual brilliance, and the top players they were relying on, some of them were unfit like Mo Salah, and the rest of the Egyptian team wasn't actually up to par to compete with the likes of Uruguay, the likes of Russia with the home advantage. So to me, there's no team from Africa in this year's World Cup that was in the same level as Ghana in 2010.
Yes.
Remember that Ghana team in 2010?
They reached the quarterfinals.
Yeah, the quarterfinals.
Yes.
The Senegal team in 2002. There's no team in Africa that went to this year's World Cup that was close to those levels, because those teams had played together for almost 4 years before the World Cup.
Yes.
Ghana played the same team in like 3 African Cup of Nations. Same team. The coaches were there for quite some time. Even if they were replacing the coaches, the assistant coaches were the ones who were taking over from the main coaches. Maybe some of them were sacked, some of them resigned. So these African teams, what I hope is going to happen to them heading to the next World Cup, that's 2022 in Qatar, they will not see this idea of sacking coaches the way Egypt have started.
Yes.
Because it basically means you have to appoint a new coach who will come with new
new
philosophies. The players now have to start adjusting to that.
Okay.
I'll give you an example of Spain.
Yes.
They won the World Cup in 2010.
Yes.
Del Bosque stayed with that team for quite some time.
Yes.
They won the Euro 2008. They won the Euro 2012.
Yes.
Before that, they won the World Cup.
Yes.
So it's about consistency. German, since Joachim Löw...
It's good you've mentioned Germany, and maybe we'll continue with the discussion about the African teams. It's interesting how that curse came to play once again. The curse of the defending champions happened in 1998 after France won the title. 2002 in Japan and South Korea, they were knocked out in the group stages. Happened again in the 2006 World Cup.
2010 Italy.
As well. Yeah. Italy, they were knocked out as well. 2014, Germany won it. 2018, they were knocked out in the group stages. Is it something that looms around a team that has the title, the holders? Is it a bit of too much superstition?
I don't think it's a bit of too much superstition, because look at Germany. They played 3 different teams in the 3 games they played in the group stage. Joachim Löw had the courage to drop Leroy Sané and pick players who had the poor statistics than him.
Yes.
Leroy Sané. Look at the players in that German team.
But the displacement actually played well. Bunch was actually quite good.
Yeah, but why do you leave a player like Leroy Sané, who scored 14 goals and made 19 assists in the Premier League and won the Premier League title, again as a player who has half the statistics of what he had? Thomas Muller did have a good season with Bayern Munich. You saw that in the semi-final between Real Madrid and Bayern.
Do you think the inclusion also of Manuel Neuer was...
Manuel Neuer should not have started this World Cup. He had not played for the last 8 months.
He was out injured,
had a good season in Barcelona. So according to me, Joachim Löw kind of missed out on consistency. He didn't even know who was in his first 11. The best player for Germany in this World Cup, despite them being knocked out, according to me, was Toni Kroos. And this Toni Kroos, the Mesut Ozil, the Boatengs may not be there in the 2022 World Cup because of their age also.
Yes.
But it was a good thing to see some young players being exposed in this top stage of football. So what I'm hoping Germany are going to do, we don't see them sacking Joachim Löw because he's just signed a new deal before the World Cup began.
For 4 years.
So that consistency needs to be there because he understands the philosophy of the German national team. He knows the players that he needs to replace in that national team. And I'm hoping maybe the Euro 2020, we're going to see a different German side, because if we look at the young players in that German national team, the under-17 team, I think won the World Cup.
Yes, they won the under-17.
The young team that won the Confederations Cup.
Yes.
So just introduce with this
I feel where they got it wrong is the sense that it's important to mention those that background, the under-17 team that actually won the title, and also the team that won the Confederations Cup. He should have amalgamated the players from both sides, because that's a winning formula.
That's true. Now
let's link up with Mike Okinyi. Mike Okinyi, you've been accused by John Kianda that you're a prophet of doom, and it came to pass. There's no African team in the last 16.
And tell Kianda, Brazil mwisho imefika tayari, and he knows me. When I tell him something, it comes to pass. So Kianda, I'm sorry, but Brazil imefika mwisho, but like we said, African teams, you look at them from the first two matches, there's nowhere they were going, Bernard. There's nothing that they were offering. Too much dependence on individual players, and on top of that, there was no hunger in them. 80 minutes, they switch off. They start thinking about their clubs, they start thinking about their cars and everything else. I mean, getting to the World Cup was good enough for them. It is not the kind of mentality that you need. You need to get to the World Cup with a mentality of winning. You need to win to get to being a winner. So the mentality of the African teams was not the best. They needed to go in there and know that they're going to win, Bernard.
Well, John Kianda.
You know, Mike Okinyi, by the way, I've always lost my bets with Mike Okinyi. But this time around for Brazil...
And he always gets it right.
He always gets it from Real Madrid, Barcelona, the El Clasico. But Mike told me that he sees this Brazil team as a different team. And I know very well, if they go past the round of 16, they're likely to face Belgium. Bona usemi ni mwisho wa Belgium pia.
Belgium, let me tell you, Kianda, Belgium is one complete team. They move as a pack. You know, Wolves, the way they attack in numbers, they defend in numbers. They know what they want. Remember yesterday, we talked about avoiding 1G, and England actually played to what we predicted in the show, that they will go into that game knowing that a loss is good for us, thinking it's an easier route towards the final. But Belgium said, you know what, for you to be the best, you have to beat the best. So they said, let's hit England first and get onto that line of Argentina, Brazil, Mexico, and the likes. Because when you beat these teams, then you are a real champion. Look at Real Madrid in the Champions League, Kianda. We told you, you don't beat the champions of Italy, the champions of France, the champions of Germany, and you don't become the champions of Europe. It is not possible. So the same case will be with this World Cup. England think, if you look at the papers today, they are saying easier route for them. They are looking at quarterfinals already, forgetting that Colombia are deadly on set pieces and moving forward. They attack in packs as well. So England, Brazil, I am really sorry for them in the round of 16, but it's the World Cup of the underdogs. Whoever has not been given a chance, the likes of Uruguay, the likes of Mexico, those are the teams that are going to shock you in this World Cup, Kianda.
Mike, let me also just engage you up. You've talked about Uruguay. That's one of the teams I also believe is one of the underdogs that can actually shock everyone in this year's World Cup. They have not lost, they have not conceded a goal. Playing against a Portuguese side that is, of course, buoyed by Cristiano Ronaldo's form this year's World Cup, I feel we should expect a surprise. Uruguay against Portugal, there could be a very, very big surprise in that game, Mike.
Yes, it's going to be a surprise because people are expecting goals, an avalanche of goals like when Spain was playing Portugal, but that's not going to be the case. These are two teams that are defending so tightly. If you look at the last two games, they are defending so tightly, and that's why Uruguay are not conceding those goals. Remember, their backline, almost all of them play in Spain, and they know Cristiano Ronaldo so well. So if Ronaldo gets even a free kick, it will be a miracle because they will not allow him anywhere near the box to concede those free kicks and penalties. So this is one game that might be decided on penalties actually, because going into it, each team knows the other one very well and they'll be very cautious. It's not about chancing anymore. They are going for the jugular now, and going for the jugular means you have to be very cautious. So we might see the first round of 16 match actually going into penalties. That's what I'm seeing in this game between Uruguay and Portugal.
Mike, Croatia have also been a very special side. They've not lost a match in the group stages. What is so special about this Croatian team that is being led by Luka Modric?
Kianda, that is my Ballon d'Or winner. Luka Modric, if they don't give him the Ballon d'Or, then we'll know Ballon d'Or is fake. Because what I'm saying is, whoever goes farthest between Portugal and Croatia will win the Ballon d'Or for either Cristiano Ronaldo or Luka Modric. And in my own assessment, Croatia will go further than Portugal. And this is the reason why. that midfield, when you have Ivan Rakitic, when you have Luka Modric, when you have Perisic, 3 of the world-class midfielders, of the top 10 midfielders in the world, they rank among the top 6. So if you have those 3, why wouldn't you boss around teams? Look at what they did to our good friends from West Africa, Nigeria. Nigeria came with all the strength, with all the attacking mind in the midfield to lock out these players. But they found the spaces. They got the free kicks. They got the penalty in the end. They created spaces to make the goals. Croatia never struggled against Nigeria like the other teams because Nigeria were very compact in defending. But Croatia knew exactly what to do. And remember, they've got that ace card, that is Mario Mandzukic Ukombele. Float the ball in there and you don't know what he will do with it. So Croatia, for me, these are the very dark horses. And don't be shocked if they repeat the heroics of 1998, Kianda.